Eccoci qua ragazzi, bentornati nel canale di Danix. Torniamo con Syberia e The World Before. Riprendiamo da questo punto dopo parecchio tempo ragazzi, sinceramente, che non gioco. Allora dobbiamo andare avanti, identifica i corpi. Vediamo di riprendere anche questo titolo. Vediamo un po'.
Looks like the rescuers left in a hurry after they moved the bodies here. Must have been surprised by the blizzard.
Tra l'altro non credo che manchi molto neanche a finirlo.
Forensics Institute of Vagen.
Allora qua fuori mi sa che non c'è altro, quindi direi che possiamo andare direttamente dentro la capanna. Vediamo un attimo cosa c'è. C'è un bigliettino.
That's not Dana in this body bag.
Referto del medico legale. Mi sa che qua è tutto documenti, Che è questo?
Leon. It's as if he died yesterday. Like in those stories where people are found perfectly preserved in ice for decades after being carried away by an avalanche. Hard to believe he's been dead for over 60 years. That's quite amazing. And grim at the same time.
Va bene, non c'è altro, vediamo anche qui.
An unidentified blonde woman in her 40s. That can't be Dana.
No, capelli
That's
biondi.
it, Oscar. Dana's body is not among those found with Leon's. What a relief.
Now that that's cleared up, Kate Walker, maybe we should take shelter within somewhat more solid premises.
Right. We should go and check on Demoiselle Lenny in the refuge. I have a lot of new questions for her.
Non è qui, non è qui. Possiamo andare. Allora, che dobbiamo fare? Chiedi chiaramente a Leni. Vabbè, immagino che sia dentro. Allora. Vabbè, questo non ci avevo detto più di tanto in realtà.
That bloody storm.
Qui avevamo già visto tutto, mi ricordo. Penso che dobbiamo salire, quindi andiamo direttamente sopra. Poi qui eravamo già venuti, Questa è la seconda volta che veniamo qua. Oh, c'è gente.
Hello? Sir?
Are you sure you want to follow that individual, Kate Walker?
I don't think he looked threatening. Rather the opposite, Oscar.
Segui lo sconosciuto. Vabbè, prima magari andiamo a vedere. La tipa è qui, quindi immagino che comunque dobbiamo parlare con lei, però c'è da seguire che è lo sconosciuto.
She's asleep. I'd better go and talk to that guy in the other room.
Ok, allora aspetta, che ha detto? Andiamo a parlare. Famelo risentire.
She's asleep. I'd better go and talk to that guy in the other room.
Che sta nell'altra stanza. Chi è? Vabbè, quello che era qui. Non lo so. Andiamo a vedere qui.
It's locked.
È chiuso. Vabbè, stanze non ce ne sono altre. C'è però qua.
Sir? Are you there?
Aumenta la luminosità.
What have we got here?
Serve i disegni. Ce ne sono altri però.
This portrait, it looks like Leon. The style reminds me of that other portrait of him that he described in his letter from Baltayar. The one made by the...
Dana.
the Go-Rune.
No, not Dana. She's old, like me.
I'm Kate. Kate Walker.
Kate Walker.
Yes. And you're the one that Leon saved during the Origin expedition a long time ago, aren't you?
Yes.
The Goran from Baltayar. Well, you've come a long way, Mr.
Ludwig. Ludwig Hardtack.
Well, Mr. Ludwig, if you don't mind my asking, what happened when you and Leon returned to Ostertal to join the Resistance fighters? And how did you meet Dana?
Leon. My brother.
These drawings, they're moments from your life, aren't they? Is that when you met Dana?
No.
That little figure there. That's you, isn't it? When you were a child in Baltayar.
Yes.
And the two adults there, are they your parents?
Uh-huh.
Looks like a river. And that little figure looks wounded. Is that you when you met Leon and the scientist from the Origin expedition?
Yes.
That person in the middle of the others was in the other paintings. That's Leon, isn't it?
Yes. Leon.
That group. Is it your tribe, Mr. Ludwig?
Yeah.
So you all live together in a cave in Baltayar? Right. So you and your tribe took Leon in after the death of Reinhard Berger in 1937. That's how he was able to survive the winter in the mountains. Then you went with Leon when he decided to return to Vagen to join the resistance fighters?
Mm-hmm.
These combat scenes, are they of the liberation of Vagen?
Before. During resistance.
Had Dana already joined the resistance operation by that time? I mean, by the time shown in the drawing.
No. Later.
The blonde girl with you and Leon can't be Lenny, right?
Yes. Lenny. My sister.
I knew Lenny was a resistance fighter, but she never told me she fought alongside Leon, let alone you. She even went as far as saying that she never saw Leon again after 1937, when they all met at the refuge with Dana. Why would she hide something so important?
Time to check on Lenny. Come, Kate Walker.
The sketchbook. I think it was Leon's.
Allora, album da disegno di Leon. Vai con il Gowron da Leon. Spedizioni. Spedizioni precedenti. Va bene, ispeziona la stanza del Ah, però c'è un obiettivo secondario. E allora aspetta un po'. Vecchia bobina di cavo.
Detonating wire, just like in the old movies. Detonating wire, just like in the old movies.
Non so cosa c'è serve. Va bene. Vecchi manifesti.
Weapons. Must have been here since the war, I guess.
Ci sarà sicuramente da guardare un po' di cose qua.
This symbol looks like a warning.
Perché l'obiettivo è secondario che c'è.
These must be plans for secret operations. Must have been some kind of a headquarters here. Maybe for local resistance fighters such as Leon and his group.
Non c'è altro. Vediamo. Ah no, qui esci. Allora, l'obiettivo è rimasto, quindi evidentemente non abbiamo visto bene tutto. Allora,
Weapons. Must have been here since the war, I guess.
fammi ricontrollare bene qui.
Some kind of map.
La mappa
Looks like the
mancava.
devil pass to me. Could all those marks indicate where the Gorons searched for Leon's body?
Questo l'abbiamo visto.
So much happened to the Gorons
Ok,
since Leon
fatto.
found him in Baltayar. What a life he had. But there
Possiamo
are
andare.
still so many gray areas. I need to learn more from Demoiselle Lenny now.
Qual era? Questa era la stanza.
It's locked.
Sta chiusa. Qua non si può andare. Era qui.
Ah, Fräulein. I knew you would be back eventually. Judging by your face, you and Ludwig already met.
We have. And it raised a lot of questions about you. About what you said to me the first time we met, and about what you didn't say.
Of course. You can run from your past, but never truly escape it. But you already know that. Don't you, Fräulein?
I want to understand Demoiselle Lenny. I'd like to understand why you didn't tell me about Leon's death, about fighting with him in the Resistance, and about the Gore, and about Mr. Ludwig. It would have saved us both so much time and effort.
Because it would have only begged questions. Questions which lead to events that I've never spoken about to anyone. Not even to you, dear Ludwig.
Lenny.
Still, I suppose it doesn't matter now. Perhaps it's time I confess my crime.
What are you talking about?
It was the best years of my life. Joining the Resistance, unlike my coward of a father, and fighting alongside Leon after he miraculously got back from Baltayar with Ludwig. It gave me purpose. Leon was a terrific leader. I could feel he was finally taking me seriously, especially with Dana being missing. I knew he was still in love. After all, didn't he cross the globe to rescue her? But we all thought he arrived too late, that Dana had died with her parents during the pogroms. So, I believed his mourning would eventually come to an end. And that's when Dana fell from the sky, literally.
Dana was sent by London, right? To oversee that operation led by your resistance network? The exfiltration of a civilian to Switzerland, if I recall correctly.
Indeed. But Leon never told us that Dana was involved. Maybe he was afraid to believe it himself. You should have seen them, Fräulein. It was as if they had never left each other.
Do you know if Dana ever mentioned a child?
Maybe they were planning to have one in Baltaya, who knows?
In Baltayar?
Yes, that's all they ever talked about. How they were going to live over there after the war, along with Ludwig and his tribe. But it was to be just another broken dream.
Right. I should call London now. My radio's downstairs.
Allora, usa la radio per parlare con i tuoi alleati. Sintonizza la radio. Vediamo perché. Non è detto che sarai.
Herr Gustav housed me here when I worked at the refuge. I have so many fond memories with Leon here. When I left for London with Junta, I never thought I'd see the place again, let alone be here again with Leon.
Oh, la radio dove cacchio è, tra l'altro?
Leon's drawing book.
Vabbè, questo l'avevamo già visto.
I recognize the mountains of Vagen in these drawings. Leon must have drawn them during his expeditions in the region.
Ma dobbiamo uscire dalla... In realtà, sì. Non c'è altro qua. Sembra di no. Va bene. Andiamo fuori. La radio non ho idea di dove sia, magari giù. Non si può andare, vediamo qui.
The Goron's lair.
Ok. Qui è chiuso.
Lenny's old room. I should stay away.
La radio lo vediamo, ma
Leon's men must have settled down in the dormitories.
questo documento. Non credo che c'è altro. Libri.
Personal effects in a heap. Can't be a good sign.
Si può salire però. Forse è qua alla radio, però adesso se non erro, molto probabile.
Junta's stash. I doubt I'll find anything of use there to amplify the radio signal.
Prima dobbiamo trovare la radio, è quello il problema. Ah, eccola.
Herr Gustav's old radio. I remember we spent many an evening listening to serials when I worked here that summer. This is the transmitter Herr Gustav told me he'd cobbled together to compensate for the wave disturbance caused by the mountains. Should be able to use it for my own radio to contact London.
Però questo va preso.
Once this antenna is connected, there must be a way to open it.
Adesso un modo per aprirla.
There must be something else I can plug into it.
Ok.
There must be something else I can plug into it.
Bella parola, eh. Sì, è come cacchio la mettiamo sta roba.
Once this antenna is connected, there must be a way to open it.
Allora, sì, immagino che comunque vuole qua, però...
So Yunta never did come back to retrieve it? Not surprising, really, I suppose, given the fact that World War broke out.
Allora... Ah, vediamo qua, vediamo qua. Che è sta roba? Vai. No, niente. C'è l'altra stanza lì. Da vedere.
What a mess. Herr Gustav must have turned Yunta's dark room into a storeroom after she left.
Possiamo fare nient'altro, quindi... sa che qua... per il momento non c'è altro, a meno che, come ho detto, questa cosa della radio... Ah, tra l'altro non lo fa neanche più mettere.
I remember we spent many an evening listening to
E
serials
allora
when I
manca
worked here that
cosa.
summer.
Ci manca cosa. Proviamo a scendere. Usa la radio. Sintonizza la radio pure. Vedi che qua...
Judging by these installations, Leon's network seems particularly well organized. Pity the same can't be said for all the resistance networks the Foreign Office deals with. May I? The Gorun described Leon as his brother. They must have shared lots of adventures together since Leon saved him from the clutches of Herberger. True brothers and sisters in arms. You can sense that the three of them stand together as one. Lenny and the Gorun seem close. It's nice that she's found a friend. Not that Herr Gustav lacked affection for her, but she spent too much time alone in that refuge. Your drawings are beautiful.
For you, Daneros.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Ludwig. It's almost as if you were there with us that night.
Leon told me.
Did he speak about me?
All the time.
I should go now. Talk to you later, Mr. Ludwig. Oh, it looks like Leon and me in this drawing. The Gorun must have drawn it from Leon's accounts of us.
C'è un po' di cose. Che dinamite questa?
The Allies are unable to send enough supplies to the resistance fighters for them to completely let go of their good old-fashioned methods. An arms stash. Since the departure of Herr Gustav, resistance fighters have been using this place as an outpost.
Pieno di munizioni, dinamite.
Shouldn't think the Brown Shadow appreciate Leon and his group throwing their own grenades at them. If this propaganda against the resistance fighters is anything to go by, the Brown Shadow must be pretty desperate.
Questi li
Looks
avevamo
like
già
the Gorn must be a
visti.
nightmare for the Brown Shadow. He must be the super resistant I heard so much about in London. Harold Exner. A scientist with vital information for the war effort, according to the Foreign Office. His cover has recently been blown, which has led to this operation. Better not say anything during the briefing, but apparently, Exner has a reputation for being rather hot-headed. The refuge. The place where it all began between me and Leon.
Questa è la mappa delle Alpi.
Switzerland. The package will be safe over there. We'll need to cross Devil's Pass with the package in order to reach Switzerland. They say it's not the most daunting pass, but still, you need to be escorted by a professional alpinist. The refuge. It'll be the departure point for our expedition into Switzerland tomorrow.
Non c'è altro. Andiamo a vedere qua. Ah, aspetta. Ah, puoi vedere che è questa la radio.
This part of the radio is used to receive messages.
Ah, ok. Sì, è questa.
This part of the radio is used to receive
Questa
messages.
parte della radio. Ok.
This part of the radio is used to transmit messages.
Trasmettere. Bel problema, mo sarà. Vediamo cosa c'è qui.
Empty.
C'è niente. Qua si può aprire. Sì, qui c'è qualcosa. Penso i cosi per decifrare. Cosa Morse, qualcosa. Sarà improponibile, raga, questo ve lo dico, quindi. Ottenere la frequenza di sicurezza di cifrare il codice di contatto. A parte recitare il vostro. Bel casino, bel casino. Per inviare un messaggio attraverso la rete utilizza la tabella di corrispondenza. Riporta qui sotto che riceve la rete. Bene. Tipo Morse, diciamo così, no? No, vabbè, codice Morse. Mamma mia. Avevo fatto da poco un altro gioco dove c'era questa cosa del codice Morse. Era un bordello, raga. Era un bordello, me lo ricordo. Veramente che gerone. Aspetta, lì c'è qualcosa, non so se posso.
Why did Herr Gustav leave the refuge? Did the Brown Shadow force him?
L'enigma della radio potrebbe essere ostico, potrebbe essere ostico. Mo vediamo un attimo di andare anche fuori per vedere se c'è altro. L'enigma della radio potrebbe essere complicato, però. Vediamo qua cosa c'è. Qui non mi fa neanche andare.
Herr Gustav's piano brings back so many memories.
Quindi direi che abbiamo anche finito qua fuori, qua dentro. Quindi proviamo ad andare fuori. Vediamo un po'.
Best not go too far.
Devo allontanarsi troppo, quindi non mi fa scendere. Vediamo qua.
There's a storm brewing. Darn it. I hope it doesn't break until we're through Devil's Pass in the morning. Is everything all right, Herr Exner? You seem a little upset. If it's about your exfiltration tomorrow, I can assure you there's nothing to be worried about. Leon is the best for...
I couldn't care less about tomorrow.
So what is it then?
It's my wife, Andrea. It's like I said to your goons there. I can't leave without her.
Your wife? I'm sorry, Herr Exnau, but we have no orders regarding...
I don't care about your orders. I'm not leaving without Andrea. Do you hear me? I won't! You think I'm a bastard, don't you? A selfish bastard ready to risk people's lives to recover the woman he loves. That's what you all think, isn't it?
No, I think you're afraid, that's all. Afraid for you and the woman you love. And fear doesn't usually bring out the best in people.
I take full responsibility for my actions, and I expect no pity in return. But would a little understanding be too much to ask? I mean, what would you do in my shoes? What would you do if they asked you to abandon that alpinist you seem to be so fond of for the common good, eh? Because that's what you're asking me to do with Andrea.
If I were in your shoes, I would put the common good first, even if I had to make a tough choice.
Oh, of course you would.
We'll talk later, Dana.
Lenny!
What do you want?
It's amazing how you've grown. How have you been since last time?
Fine, I guess.
I found out that the refuge was closed down by the Brown Shadow a few years ago. Turns out your network did the best of it. But what about Herr Gustav? Is he...
Dead? No, he's not dead. Although, for me, he might just as well be.
It's quite incredible when I think of you and Leon fighting alongside someone who comes from so far away.
Yeah. After Leon saved him during the expedition in Baltayar, Mr. Ludwig's tribe took him in during the winter months. They became inseparable, like brothers. So much so that Mr. Ludwig insisted on coming back here with Leon. Now he's our most ferocious fighter, the terror of the Brown Shadow.
See you later, Lenny.
Dana, wait.
What is it?
Do you remember when you worked for my old man, and you caught me playing with Junta's equipment?
Rings a bell, yes?
Why? Why did you tell her about it, when you promised you wouldn't?
Oh,
You said we were friends. Well, it got me into a whole load of trouble, you know? I was just a bored kid messing about.
I'm so sorry, Lenny, really. It was mean of me, I admit. But in my defense, all I can say is I was too young at the time. Maybe it was more important for me to earn Junta's trust than yours. I'm sincerely sorry it happened, but Can we leave this all behind us now and be friends again?
Fine. Very well then.
See you later. All right?
Well, everyone seems all right, more or less. I should get back to the radio now.
Ah, ok, l'obiettivo secondario l'abbiamo pure tolto, in realtà, quindi era solo semplicemente chiacchierare qui fuori. Quindi c'è da solo da sintonizzare la radio, ma quello non può essere tanto easy, Vabbè, adesso andiamo a vedere cosa c'è. Pieno di armi qua. Posso scendere qua, se vuoi.
We'll have to cross that tomorrow. It's daunting. Not because of the crossing, though. Leon knows it like the back of his hand. No, because of what will happen between us afterwards. I know I'll have to face the fact that London won't let me stay with him once we've escorted the civilian into Switzerland. And Leon would never accept to leave his men and follow me to London as long as the war's still raging. Once again, everything seems to be against us. But at least I've seen him. At least I know he still loves me. And we'll have plenty of time to catch up when we'll leave for Baltea after the war. So, best not dwell. I'll have all day tomorrow to feel sorry for myself.
Bambini, andiamo. Abbiamo sentito anche questo pensiero. Allora, la radio è qui giù. Quindi adesso vediamo di provare a capire. Questo non credo che ce lo fa usare. No, in realtà sì.
I read Leon's network uses the old caves over there to escape from the Brown Shadow. That's smart.
In realtà sì. Però non credo che sia essenziale al momento. No, infatti. Sembra di no. Vabbè. Dai, andiamo a fare l'obiettivo, poi direi che ci salutiamo.
I'll just wait here for a while longer.
Vediamo se bisogna capire se riusciamo a farlo questa cosa della radio. La radio era qui. Dubito. Ah, ok, la cornetta.
Nothing. I should turn the radio
Ah,
on first.
qui va messa.
Maybe Herr Gustav's homemade radio is still around here somewhere.
Allora, aspetta un po'. Questo.
It doesn't fit. Looks like there's something wrong with the
Non
antenna.
si collega. Pieghevole e facilmente trasportabile. Ma non so se dobbiamo... E vedi, ritornano a entrare gli incastri, quindi... Così. Ok, perfetto. E qua ci siamo. Interagisci. Questa è l'antenna, quindi per forza di cose serve allungata. Poi. Buonanotte. Quanta roba basta.
Impossible.
Non sarà easy, raga, però ho detto sti cacchio di enigmi.
Better try another one.
Provare qualcos'altro. Aspetta un po'.
It doesn't work.
Allora, non rimane così. Ok. Andiamo anche qui.
No doubt this should boost the signal.
Però aspetta, adesso potrebbe essere che l'abbiamo accesa l'antenna.
That item doesn't work.
Sì, ma non ho capito cos'è sto coso.
I must have made a mistake.
È tosta. Allora,
Nothing. I should turn the radio on first.
probabilmente dobbiamo frugare qui, quindi... Il problema è che io ho queste cose del... a parte che è spenta. È su off. Tanto per ricominciare, o no? Vediamo anche qui. No, io come ho detto il codice Morse non so un cavolo, quindi c'è veramente...
This part of the radio is used to transmit
Probabilmente andrò a
messages.
cercare la soluzione perché non resterò qua certo a impazzire. Che è accesa, ma chiaramente è tutto da vedere l'antenna che secondo me non è messa bene. Molto probabilmente l'antenna non è messa bene perché non ho capito sto coso qua. Sì, ma questo che cazzo è questo che sposta?
No.
Non ho capito cos'è sto coso. A parte che non si
That
muove.
item doesn't work.
Sto oggetto non funziona. Aspetta, ma è l'antenna che va allungata.
Better try another one.
Vabbè ragazzi, io direi che ci salutiamo, dai, lo fermiamo nel prossimo video perché sennò esce un po' troppo lunghetto qua. Tanto comunque l'obiettivo è quello.
I need to extend the antenna for the radio
Devo
to work.
estendere l'antenna, non ne dobbiamo estendere, probabilmente sto un attimo sbagliando io, però vabbè. Se no il video esce un po' lungo, riprendiamo da qui. Come sempre voi fatemi sapere, commentate, condividete, iscrivetevi al canale. Iscrizione trovate la pagina Facebook, Twitter, profilo Instagram. Noi ci vediamo alla prossima. Un saluto a tutti da Dex0689.